Yo, it's your favorite stringer, Amazing Crosses here. Guys, this is our third episode. Thank you so much for all the comments and the contributions you guys have been giving me. It's definitely a morale boost. I always wanted to do something like this, and I feel like this is the platform. Before a couple years ago, yeah, I'm giving you guys tidbits on, how to string, where to buy strings, what string machines to buy. But now I feel like, hey, what about the business aspect? A lot of people know the technical stuff. Like, that's not a real problem. I'm sure you guys are great stringers, and you kind of can just learn from the internet, forums, Facebook group chats, things like that. There's so many sources. Way before, when I first started, there was nothing out there. So I feel like for me right now, the next step is the business part, right? When I first started stringing, it wasn't like, hey, I love tennis so much and da 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 da. It was straight up a grind and a hustle for me. It was like, dude, if I do this, I can provide for my family. I can get, next month bill paid. And I found out real quick that tennis is a very lucrative sport. It's still a lucrative thing. Like, you need money to play tennis. Most of the people who play tennis for real, it's like, you don't even realize these. I was at a junior tournament, right? Kalamazoo. The parents spending like 10 bands for the year just for that one child in just string service. Not even talking about coaches and court fees and all that good stuff. It's just like just pure strings and racket, especially if they're playing at that level, like Kalamazoo, nationals, things like that. Like, they're playing like the pros without the sponsorship money. The parents are probably, hey, I'm wishing my kids will go to college or turn pro. But usually it's a college thing. Like, hey, paying for all this is almost like paying, that high tuition at a private school things. If your kids can play tennis, they can excel in this. You can probably get into that school. So what helped us? It was the internet. We've always been in the cutting edge of either social media, internet. I was probably the first one to have like a solid website doing tennis stuff. Obviously, probably one of the first stringers or the only one back in 2011, 2012. You can check out my account on Instagram. It's like one of the oldest one that had any content as far as stringing. And then, a lot of these brands fall through. Facebook came in, all that social media stuff. And by the time, I think 2017, 2018 was our peak at social media, and ever since then, the pandemic, there's a whole new vibe. I got 5-6 years older. So what's been keeping us probably the number one stringer in the area? And I don't say that as a BS, but like for real, like by the numbers, you Google us up, we're everywhere. And I believe it's a strong internet ties. You gotta stay on the technology, right? You can hire somebody to do your website, or you can decide, hey, you know what? I'm not big enough. I'm not gonna run a website. That's fine. But in this day and age, right? People Google up everything. Come on now. When's the last time you haven't used Google for something? Hey, Google, find me that movie theater. It's like, find me a pizza place that closed at 12 nearby. Siri, find me this dog. They're going to find it. And all those keywords or there's trigger words or whatever are revolved around internet phrases, right? And you're asking like, well, that sounds like website SEO type things. It's exactly on that search engine optimization. Believe it or not, yes, we're moving to a higher age of the internet, but we just finally got grandma. We finally got Uncle Joe. We finally got that 56-year-old who's just like, hey, I'm starting to learn how to use Siri. I'm starting to learn how to use AI. I'm starting to learn how to use Google, Alexa, things like that. And where do you think they find these words from? So you ever, typed on, yeah, I'm typing right now. If you go on Google, and obviously, it's sometimes linked to your location. This is how this works. So you go to Google search, right? It says search Google or type URL. Find me a tennis stringer, right? So the keywords in there is tennis and stringer, probably. And as soon as you pop up, obviously I'm on my account. It says, mains and crosses here and there, blah, blah, blah. But my thing shows up. My thing shows the first one. Obviously, there's paid ads where you see Google and you'll see companies like Amazon's on there. But my business pops up 1-2 right there. And it shows you right on the side, mains and cross professional racket stringer, $30 same day, bring your own string deal, website, Google reviews, phone number, hours, things like that. Do you don't think that's not important in this day and age? Now you might think if you think $100, you're $100. If you think 10,000, you're at 10,000. So what type of business do you want? I know your budget's not like Nike. It's like, hey, How much are you printing? Things like that. But I feel like creating a website, right? You can use IPFS. I mean, you don't have, you can make a you know, a decentralized website, but you need to be on Google. You need to be on SEO. You need to have keywords out there straight into your business. How would they know the difference between Schmo Joe versus you? And obviously, we love to get returning customers. We love to get word of mouth, right? But let me show you a scenario. I'm gonna do it again. Let's role play again. This is how things work out. This is after I get the racket done. Sometime before, but this is how it goes. Amazing Crosses. Hey, I just found you online. Looking at my racket strung. Oh, that's great. Let me ask you. Do you have strings? Oh yeah, I have strings with me. I got a couple. I got a reel that I want to use. I've been using since college, but yeah, I got two rackets. I was hoping you can do today. Oh, that's perfect. Bring it on in. I'll knock it out. Hey, our fees is $30 per racket if you bring your own string, so it's $60. We'll have it knocked out within half an hour. What do you think? Hey, that's great. I'll have it over. Now, fast forward. Get the racket down. Everything's looking good. This is how you should end it. Hey, here's your racket. Thank you so much. Did the payment go through? Oh yeah, it went great. I saw you had your Venmo account online. I just paid, I prepaid earlier. Perfect. Let me check. Oh, there it is. Hey Matt, thank you so much for your service. I love you that you're in the military. I saw that you saw on our website that we have military discounts. So hey, we're glad we can honor that. That being said, how did you find us? Oh, we just Googled you up. Oh, really? That's awesome, man. I'm glad we found each other. And let me know if you need anything else. Let me know how the strings go. Doesn't that happen to you guys? Do you get calls like that, or do you end them like that? You ask them like, "Hey, how did you hear about us?" It would be crazy if you had a new client come in. Obviously, besides word of mouth, of course, you can be like, "Hey, how did you find us?" Oh, Billy told us. Billy from the courts. Oh yeah, Billy's great. Yep, we'll sort you out. Obviously, friends referral. Those are great. But I can tell you right now, for our business, small shop, home stringer, 95% of our clientele comes through Google or the internet. Somehow they got into our website, maybe Instagram, social media. Referrals here and there, that's fine. That's 5%, like the people we play with, things like that. But they know us already. And of course they're gonna let people know, hey, but usually think about the demographics. The people you play with, people in their area, they only play with that many people. So let's say the person has a buddy. That's two people they'll connect to. And maybe another two go, maybe it's the exponential thing, right? But after a while, that tennis group is in a little ball cluster. It's gonna be hard to break out of that. How about, hey, this is a guy that we just had, he just moved from Pennsylvania. He doesn't know where to get his badminton racket strung. Let me Google up badminton string. Badminton. Even though I'm not a badminton person, when I type badminton stringing, it pops up on Google. I wonder why it does that. Because on the website, you can set certain parameters, especially, service like Wix. I use that sometime. You can set certain keywords, SEO, search words optimization. You can set the trigger words. So I'm not saying I'm badminton, but as long as there's stringing in there, it can be a correlation like, hey, this is where he's going. That's when you Google up, or that's when you use ChatGPT. Hey, find me things about Mains Crosses Smith Chaikin LLC. And they were like, hey, he's a social media guy, blah, 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 stringing business in Alexandria. They're getting those words, those phrases, and kind of making up by itself. Google smart. They've been doing this for so long. They have so many algorithms. You should give them the word. If you write tennis stringing, you're probably thinking about the machine. You're probably thinking about a stringer, or you're probably thinking about a brand or a string. So they'll pop up those things. So right now, when I print out tennis stringing near me, it shows machines, right? It has a little on Amazon. It shows some Gamma Sports, Pro Stringers, Pro Pros, or whatever, and then it shows the business. Mine's always on top. Doesn't matter what the review is. Did you know that people will look reviews? So there's two options in reviews too, and we can go in depth about that, but I don't go too much. Everybody either checks out what's the worst being said or what's the best being said. Nobody in the middle reviews certain things. So it's either the great or horrible. And obviously you want the great more than the horrible, but there must be a horrible. I feel like any business that just have great response on Yelp, it's either one, it's not organic. They're probably asking for it. No matter how hard Yelp tries or Google tries or whatever these reviewer things try, it's hard to track down who's real, who's not real, or at least like who's not a paid actor. So the moral of the story is technology is going to push us forward. Why am I spending so much time talking about crypto? Why am I spending so much time about SEO? Why am I talking about marketing or business marketing in a digital world? Because everybody's on digital. A lot of score tracking right now is on their wristwatch. Before they used to, have little tabs like, "Am I 40 love?" Now there's a camera you can buy where it just captures your game and almost like puts it in real, tennis view, like kind of a Hawkeye type thing, and shows your strokes and stuff like that. People are moving towards that digital age. If you don't have the basics, the foundation, you're building a house, right? You got this beautiful dream. Think about it. You're building a castle. Like, oh, I love this house. It smells good. I got the beautiful spouse and the kids and the dog. Big. I love. I love to dream big. Please continue to dream. But if you don't build that foundation from the bottom up, how's that house being built? These foundations are coming from the basics, the building blocks. And I'm telling you right now, you're losing business if you do not have a updated website. And you need to be on it pretty often. If you're hiring somebody, they need to be checking it out on the monthly, maybe even bi-weekly. Initially, right? When you first start, you want to see those algorithms. You want to be able to see, hey, who's coming in, the web traffic, things like that. I can go right now into my SEO and see like, hey, what's the ratio? Do I get any new clients? How many clients came from my Instagram? How many clients came from this site? They all track those things, right? And it's basically almost a free thing. You can obviously pay for upgrades and Google ads and things like that and more analytics, but Google gives you the basics. Because without us, they have no clientele to kind of work with too. So, it's kind of a win-win situation right here. But I did use some of the Google ads before, and it's a hit or miss. Sometimes it works. Sometimes I think out of the $200 or $400 I spent on Google ads, I definitely got some money, tenfold. And at the time, I was probably charging $20, running promos, doing things like that, and it was fine. But guys, how important is the internet? The fact that you're on here on YouTube, you found me somehow. What, you used to search tennis stringing ideas? Did you somehow stroll along tennis stringing on Instagram and you found my thing? You got to my link and you clicked below and you commented, things like that. Things just don't happen out of nowhere, especially in the internet world. Maybe in life, maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe it's just the way the world's talking. But think about it. If you don't have that footprint, that carbon ID, who are you? When you leave out of this earth, this sounds morbid, but what's your legacy? So the great thing about internet and imprints, yes, it can be taken out and deleted and, wish it was more decentralized. But I figure in 100 years or hopefully everything's still here, but even just 20, 30 years from now, 40 years, 50 years, I might be gone. I'm my late 30s now. But let's say in 70 years, I'm 100. All our information will still be here. What's that word? The internet doesn't lie, or the internet it never goes away. We're immortalizing this thing, so why not have your foot into the future? And I think the best thing we can do is set ourselves up for our future. Ask yourself, what's your future you will say to you? I guess in the future you, what would he say when he looks back? Like, hey, what have you done for your legacy? It would be good things like, hey, I'm glad you took that risk. Because remember, right, in business, right, you take more risk, you're gonna have more benefits. It's always heavy. If you want that big money, and there's a chart on this, the higher risk, you hear that risk and reward, right? Higher rewards. And as you age, as you progress in your business, say this is year 5, year 10, whatever, you're getting older yourself, and it's just like a chart. Your risks, you would have to take higher risks at year 10 or when you're getting a little older just to make up. So why don't start now? Like if you don't have a website, you're taking a higher risk at a higher point in your life. Now you're like, oh, if this don't work out, then, But imagine a couple years ago, you started doing it and like, hey, website's still there. I'm paying for my yearly annuals. I'm getting X amount of client. I guarantee you'll get somebody. I guarantee you it. If this doesn't add 1 or 2 clients brand new in your area to you, I probably would just shut this whole system down, because this is how we do it, especially in a busy city like DC. I wouldn't know how to get new clients. A lot of these, companies, they open these shops, and obviously they're great customer service, word of mouth, but they're always wondering, hey, do I do mail-ins? Do I do magazine covers? And then usually what they do is when you open up, oh, it's a big deal to do like a ribbon cutting ceremony. I've been there, done that. I've seen so many business fall. They're so great. So everybody smile, opening champagne. You have a big gala, and then what? Where's your marketing after that? What? He's like, well, I'm here. They're gonna hear about me. No, you gotta keep at it every single day. So I look at my analytics pretty often, and you can kind of tell, hey, these months are lulling, and then you're kind of analyzing why. Was I not advertising much? Was I not reaching out to the people? What was going on that month? And sometimes you're trying to find excuses, things like that. But you don't have that data if you don't have your SEOs, or you don't have your computation from the internet. Like, how can you even make those judgments? Like, who's cold calling you? Get yourself a website. If you need any, tips and tricks and stuff like that, feel free to DM me. I'm not going to teach you how to do all that ad stuff and how to build a website. There's plenty of websites for that, and it's pretty easy, right? However, you need to start off with one, even if it's a plain one. Even if it says, hey, Jimmy's stringing, with your phone number, hours, emails, contacts, text message, whatever. But you need to have one, and you need to update those SEOs, because without those trigger words like stringing, tennis, stringing machine, racket strings, and some people spell it RACKET, and then there's the RACQ, raqueta. There's so many ways. There's so many things. People search for different things. Hey, find me tennis web mesh. I mean, why not, right? Find all those obscured words. Put that on there. If there's more space, hey, do it. You'll get one of them. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a great one. Like and comment below. Obviously, if you like this, subscribe. Make sure you check out our new videos, even in the past. Go check out some old stuff too. I think it's great. And let's do this again soon. Peace.